What does your life look like on social media? If you're a guy, is it full of beautiful women to show that you're the man? Or if you're a girl, is it full of tons of selfies that happen to be flawless? Or if you're anyone, is it filled with scripted quotes and volunteer pictures to let everyone know that you are in fact a good human being? We go to Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook to find beautiful pictures of travel, of people, everything in its perfectness. But if you look at this is really more how our life is, an exaggeration of the truth. But are we going to show that sides of ourselves on social media? Of course not. We only want to show the best sides of ourselves, that perfect side. And it's no wonder that according to a South by Southwest panel, 89% of women associate a like on Instagram with a compliment. So with that, it really speaks to how we look for that longing of being liked and that need of acceptance. It's almost this fleeting moment of happiness for some of us. But are we starting to lose who we are on social media, or even worse, become someone else? It's time that we get back to our authentic selves and match our virtual world with our reality. My name is Simard, and I will be sharing with you about how to be your authentic self on social media. So I have a new phrase for you, and it's called cultivated transparency. When I first heard this from lifestyle guru Stacey London, I thought, what in the world is this? But it's all the actions, thoughts, the pictures that we don't see when someone posts to social media. And so with that, we only really show half of who we are, not our whole selves. For example, am I going to show you my delicious, beautiful coffee that I got from Starbucks? It'll make everyone jealous who had to get coffee from the Blue that morning. Or I'm going to show you 2 minutes later when I spill it all myself and show you how big of a klutz I am. Of course I'm not going to show you the latter, because what's good is in that. So we really only focus on showing the most perfect sides of ourselves. And a lot of this can really be explained with some psychology and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. A lot of panelists brought this up during my time at South by, and a lot of our social needs can really be explained with these 3 tiers: belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. So with belonging, that's acceptance and the fear of love and all of those needs, which can really be emphasized in Facebook, Instagram, and dare I say Tinder. And then if we move on to esteem, that's really gaining some self-confidence, which is shared on Twitter and YouTube and exemplified through favorites and views. And then if we get to self-actualization, that's where we become more of ourselves, and I think where we really need to drive ourselves up to that point. And it's used through Tumblr, where we share our interests, and the blog spheres, so WordPress and all of those options. And so kind of going off of that, how we're only showing parts of the self, where do we go from here? I'm not saying go post the ugliest picture of yourself to Facebook or post that rejection text that you got from your crush. But I'm saying that we really should open ourselves up to where we go. Some of you might think, so what if I only show myself, part of myself, and keep the other sides private? But experts think, and I agree, that we're really reaching a turning point. We have these existing platforms and this arena to really share parts of ourselves. And so are we going to continue to Photoshop our pictures and post these terrible comments, or are we going to really do something about it and share our stories? And so this is one of the hashtags and campaigns that I came across in my time at South by, and it shows real mishaps, real spills, real laundry fails, and real baking fails. And although you might be thinking, these are not beautiful to look at, they're extremely humorous and very relatable. Just by looking at these 4 pictures, I can give you 5 or 6 stories of my own that relate to these. And I just have to say, the bottom right picture is in fact mine, and all I have to say to that is Pinterest lies. So kind of going off of this idea of hashtag campaigns and social media platforms, it's really not so much a technological shift. I didn't learn about any new platforms coming up that could enhance the storytelling aspects. It's more about the campaigns and hashtags. And I think from a brand standpoint, Dove really does a good job at this. They have the Speak Beautiful, which really opens up the conversation for women to speak about what it is they're advocating for. And as you can see up here, they even say they are a partnership for social change. So they're really focused on making that shift. And so with that, kind of the storytelling aspect and using an existing platform, I'll just emphasize one of my favorites. It's actually the Humans of New York, which I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with, which it has taken off tremendously. It kind of just really started as a way to show the diversity in New York City, how many people, how many different cultures there are there. But it's really grown into an inspirational and storytelling platform. So this was one of my favorite posts from a couple of months back that carried out through a series of 2 weeks. And so this boy is Anthony. He was on the street and they asked him, who has influenced you most in your life? And he said, my principal, Miss Lopez. And he could have just ended it right there. The post could have moved on to the next person, but they chose to stay with it and really run with it and see why is it that Miss Lopez is so inspirational to him. And so over the next couple of weeks, they visited Anthony's school, which is in inner city Brooklyn, so not a good area for kids, and they met Mrs. Lopez and got her side of the story, and she really emphasized that these kids really didn't have great opportunity being in inner city and living below the poverty line. So they talked about the change and quoted her and said what could go differently. And due to the post-exposure and crowdsourcing, they were able to raise over $365,000 to fund programs for these kids so that they can realize that they too have this opportunity. And it even went so far as to go to the White House. Obama heard about this as well and was really inspired by this kid and his principal, and they were able to see him and hear about the story firsthand. So with that, I challenge you to maybe post a different side of yourself to social media. You don't have to be super vulnerable, but maybe just show something that didn't go quite the way you wanted to, but it really opened your eyes and you learned something from it. You never know who you could inspire, or you never know when Obama might come knocking at your door. Thank you.